What's the best response to dad? I think I'm gay.
So my aunt is kind of old school and doesn't know how to address things. She is kind of in the middle between baby boomer and Gen X, so she is a bit more tolerant, but she is still awkward. My aunt has 3 boys, and they are all gay. The youngest one was like 9 or something when he told her, and he goes, "Mom, I think I'm gay," and she looks at him dead in the eyes and says, "So? What the f*** you want me to do about it?" She's fully supportive and tried to be nonchalant, but her reaction was probably not what he was expecting.
In the 90s, when my girlfriend finally told her traditional Italian mom and grandma at 19, they sighed in unison and grandma said, "Oh, thank baby Jesus, I was worried that I was going to have to tell you."
Sit down, lady, we gotta talk. I have to tell you something, and I really hope that it doesn't change anything between us. You're my granddaughter after all. So, didn't think it would be that hard. But
Sarah, you're gay.
one of my friends from high school was gay, and when he came out to his family, his dad literally didn't look up from his newspaper and told him his sister didn't need to tell him she was straight, so why would he need to explain that he was gay? He's known him his whole life and already knew that. It was cute because he was so worried.
Well, my dad said I know. And I don't care. As long as you are happy, I'm also happy for you, and then asked me if I wanted a scotch to celebrate that I finally had the confidence to tell him.
This story does not involve a dad, but it involves a very religious grandma. One of my friends was very nervous about telling his grandma that he was gay, and put it off for a long time. But when he turned 18, he decided that he had to get this done. When he told her, she just looked at him calmly answered, "Of course you are. I have known that since you were 10-inch. At the age of 10, he didn't even know it himself yet.
Our son came out to us a month ago. We already suspected, so it wasn't a shock. When he told me, I thanked him for telling me, told him that I loved him, then explained that who he wants to tell next, and how he wants to tell them is 100% his choice, and we will support him however he wants and needs. He gave us a list of people to tell, and by the end of the week, he wanted everyone to know. Love and acknowledgement and support."
Not me, but a friend of mine from college. When he came out to our group of friends, we were fine with it. He was still our friend. We then asked if he told his parents about it and said no. His parents are very religious and he plans to take the secret to the grave. The next day, he told his parents he was gay because he came home drunk from a party. All of us looked at each other, preparing to comfort him in case it didn't go well. But the next thing he said really surprised all of us. When he drunkenly told his dad that he was gay, the dad responded, "Well, if that's how God made you, then there's nothing we can do about it." When he heard those words, he sobered up quickly and felt like a giant weight was off of him. It made him love his parents even more. We all congratulated him that it went well. He did say one lie though. When his mother asked if he was seeing someone, he said no, but he was.
I was getting ready to go to a sleepover with a girl I was totally crushing on, and my mom was like, "You look like you're getting ready for a date." And I paused and was like, "Would it be okay if I was going on a date with a girl?" My mom just said, "Of course, just remember to practice safe. You can get everything from girls too."
Hi gay, I think I'm dad. Seriously though, when my son came out, I just said he was my son, and it changed nothing between us other than I was happy he was discovering himself and growing up. Any man who would abandon or shun his own son for being gay is no man at all.
My daughter was looking extremely nervous one night while I was cooking dinner. I could see her talking quietly with her mom, but she continued to look uneasy. After a bit of time, she came into the kitchen and I asked her what was wrong. She didn't want to tell me at first, but I could tell she was uneasy, so I said she could always tell me anything. She finally said that she was pansexual. I just looked at her and said that just means twice as many people that can turn you down for dates now, and she busted out laughing as I went back to cooking to finish dinner. She was apparently really nervous about telling me for some reason and was glad I wasn't upset.
My parents always raised me to be inclusive and that everyone is different and deserves to love who they'd like to love. When I was 16, my best friend came out to me on our way to get pancake mix for a dude night. I felt bad looking back at it, but we talked and he said my response of, "Wait, so does this mean you don't want to sleep over tonight?" was exactly what he would have wanted. To me it wasn't an issue, I was more worried he didn't want to hang out with me. We spent good time in devising how he'd come out to the rest of our friend group. There were some guys in the group and he was worried, but when the time came everyone was very supportive and we all still so good together.
My high school-aged daughter told me this exact thing while in the car a couple of months ago. I told her, "Thanks for being brave enough to tell me, honey. I don't care who you love, only that they love you back as much as I do and are worthy of the love you give them. Make sure they deserve your love and make you a better person, and I'll be happy." The best answer is, and will always be, match their energy. If they're serious, take it seriously. If they're really nervous, then show them you love them and reassure them that they're perfect the way they are. If they just throw it out there like it's no big deal, then don't make a big deal out of it. There's no one way to react to someone coming out. You have to use your emotional intelligence and read the room a little. But the most important thing is to just be supportive. Even if your response is sorta tone deaf, if you mean well then your kid will get that.
Well, let's talk about it. Then sit and talk about it because that can be a sensitive thing for lots of gay people. Had one of my closest friends who had no issues getting girls come out and say he was bisexual and cried while saying he was sorry, thinking I'd be mad that we always hung out and didn't want me to get party with the wrong idea. Gave him a hug and honestly said he didn't need to say sorry. Made me cry a little too because he asked for me to be there when he told his parents. I said I do, marriage joke for the few that don't get it, as a joke to lighten the mood. His parents had a bit of a difficult time understanding what he was telling them, but ended with hugs all around and homemade ice cream. They never stopped loving him less. In fact, I think they all come close more because he started spending more time at home after that and just seemed way happier overall when he let everybody know.
I remember one of my best friends invited me over for dinner in high school to use as a blocker when he came out to his family. I suspected it was going to happen, and having a straight male friend to show it was okay. Best friend stands up, "Mom, Dad, I'm gay." Mom looks at Dad and smiles. "Dad, good for you. I've been calling you a Nancy since you were 5, loved you then, I love you now, and I'll love you till I die. Please just find a nice man who can cook, 'cause your mom ain't gonna teach you." We all laughed super hard, but an hour later, I watched his dad go up to him and give him a big hug, kiss on the forehead, and then shook his hand. He came up to me on the driveway as I walked to my dad's truck for my ride home and shook my hand and said, "Thank you for being part of his support network, but to remember he will need strong straight support as we get older in life. Society is garbage and no as accepting as it should be. My own son is only 9, but should that combo arise, I hope he knows I'll support him no matter what he wants in life."
So as a dad, I've tried to make it pretty clear to my kids as soon as they were old enough to even know what gay meant that it didn't matter to me as long as they were happy. Your kids shouldn't have to be told that you support them. I never wanted there to even be the possibility that they might think I would disapprove of who they are or who they love. One time the wife and I were having a conversation with our daughter and she was early teens or maybe even younger and kind of experimenting with the idea of it, like saying things like, "Well, what if I like..." I really don't think she's gay, but my response to her was, "Name, if you are gay, just tell us, we don't care. Just find someone who makes you happy." And she said something on the lines of, "I love this family."
So my husband and I have 2 daughters, the youngest is gay and the oldest is bi, but married a woman, our awesome daughter-in-law. During a conversation over a card game, I made a lesbian marriage joke and my youngest daughter said, "Well, you don't have to be gay to marry a woman," and I said, "You're right. Look at your sister." My husband rounded the corner right as she said, "Actually, I think I'm gay," and he said, "Ah, that would explain the wife," and just kept walking.
"Hi gay, I'm dad." Just kidding. Acceptance, empathy, pride. I would be proud that my son was comfortable enough to tell me. I would make it known that it in no way changes my love for him, or our relationship in general. I would let him know that I empathize with the potential challenges he may face as a result, and that I will always be a supporter and shoulder to cry on if needed.